Hello.
Morning,
Hello.
afternoon.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Fantastic. Hello. Hi, Bettina. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Have you been traveling? Are you still traveling?
No, I was traveling yesterday and the day before,
Ah,
and today is a public holiday and
mm.
long
Oh,
weekend. So, yep,
oh.
yep.
Well, thank you for joining us on a
Yeah.
public holiday.
I just, it's just 1 hour, so that's fine. And it's a nice meeting, I hope.
Hopefully, yes. Don't know if you saw any of the messages fly back and forth, but we've got a bit of a scenario to start with today.
Yeah. Do you need any particular input from my side? Any
I
particular
think,
questions that have been coming up or anything?
oh, good point. Do we have particular questions, Jessica? Have you noticed from the groups and from the Q&A or?
I haven't noticed anything particular. Let me check the Q&A forms.
But as we go through this session, if there's things either you noticed that I'm talking about that I've either misinterpreted or not said, or you could add to, just raise your hand or jump in. Um,
Sure.
yeah, we'll see how things go. We've got a scenario we can play with to begin with. We've got a quiz like we've done previously, but we also want to make sure we give participants the chance to ask their questions. This is our
Yeah.
last live session, so I think, Jess, if you can start with that sort of same opening. Is it a poll open poll, long format, long word
Hmm.
poll? I think it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Good. Um, Questions. What were people asking about? Did I know in the chat? My groups. Who'll be trying to think if there's anything that people are asking in the forums that I didn't have a quick response for. Hmm. We had one issue actually that people were mentioning. They said they were doing E. coli testing, finding there was E. coli. Then they were shock chlorinating the water point, and then they were still getting E. coli. So I'll see if I can find who wrote that.
I think that may have been a ballet our last week's session.
Ah,
And
okay.
I think combined with that, he was saying that their SI scores were low.
Uh-huh.
So they
Mm,
were having a hard time pinpointing where it was coming.
okay.
Well, I guess the sanitary inspection forms are never a complete list of what could go wrong, so further exploring wouldn't harm.
I'll keep looking for that question. Let's see. Well, group one or two came up.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and launch our poll and start adding people in. Sound good? Oh, yeah, let me make you.
Hi, welcome. Good morning, afternoon. Hi, Martin. I think you're the first person joining us on the call. We have a group of facilitators here. We've put a question on the screen. Just as
Yes.
we're starting, you should see a poll pop up
Mhm.
asking you what questions do you have about data analysis and use that you would like answered today. So as we're waiting for people to join, please do just take a time to think through any questions you have and respond to the poll. We'll keep that open for this first sort of 5 minutes or so whilst we wait for people to join. Hi, Tan, welcome. As I said to Martin, as we're waiting for people to join, we've got a poll running where you can write down any questions you have on data analysis and use. We have Bettina back with us today. Hi, Bettina, taking time off on a bank holiday in Germany. Bettina, what is the bank holiday in Germany today? Is it celebrating somebody or celebrating something?
It's a good question. I'll have to look up the English
No, I'll
word for
put you
it.
on the spot. That's not part of the course then.
It's also Father's Day, though.
Oh,
That I
right.
know.
Ah, oh, great. We have Father's Day in England in 1 month's time, so in about 5 weeks' time. Hi, Kendra. I know Kendra's calling in from the States. Kendra, you've been on the first couple of calls, I think, when we had Bettina here.
Yeah, this is my first time being able to join, but I have to correct, I'm from
Ah,
Canada. I
oh,
I
sorry.
no,
Are
no,
you?
it's okay. It's okay, but I would be in big trouble if I didn't say something.
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Whereabouts are you calling from, Kendra?
I live in Northern Ontario.
Ah, okay.
So
Which
for those
is
who know a little bit, I live about a 4 hour drive from Toronto.
okay.
Yeah.
So just next door to Toronto.
Just really close. Yeah, no big deal.
Thank you, Kendra. Hi, Tan. I think Tan, you're calling in from Vietnam, I think, if I remember from our last call. Welcome. So this is our last live session we have all together before the course closes. So we're going to keep that poll running, but just as a reminder of where we are at in the course. So I think we started, is it 6 weeks ago, Jessica? Beginning of, here
Yeah.
we go. Early April. So this is officially, is it officially the last week, Jessica? Or is it officially it is the last week?
Yes.
Great, okay. It's the last week. So final push to finish off all the assignments and quizzes so you can get your certificate. It looks like we're going to be a small group today. So Martin, Dan, if you want to put your cameras on, please do. Don't worry if you can't or don't want to, that's fine. Um, if you have questions you want to ask about anything we've looked at in the course, now is a good time. We're specifically going to be reviewing Unit 4, Data into Action today, but we're very happy to discuss any questions that you may have from anything we've looked at. So, Martin, Tan, if you do want to jump in with a question, please do. I'm looking for questions in the forum as well because there was one I wanted to find. So I will do that. And if questions come, please jump in.
Yeah, hello, Tom. Hello, Bettina, Jessica. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Yeah, I do not have a question today, but I will looking forward to the session. Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you. Where are you calling in from, Martin?
Bujumbura in Burundi.
Bujumbura. Great. Bujumbura
Yes,
itself.
yes.
Right. And do you
I've been here
work?
before.
I have been to Bujumbura, yes. And are you based
Wow.
in and around the capital, or did your work take you into the country as well?
Yeah, I'm based in the capital, okay, economic capital, because now they put
Hmm.
the capital in middle of the country called Gitega, but
Ah,
here is still the economic capital. Yeah,
right. I did
Bujumbura.
not know that. Oh,
Yeah.
Gitega. Oh, do you know
Yeah.
why they changed it to Gitega?
I think they're looking at a point which is more of central within the country
Ah,
because Bujumbura is right at the edge toward near the border of Congo, DRC
Mm,
Congo.
mm,
So
mm, mm.
yeah.
Does that have any effects on your work? Are there any changes in authorities you need to liaise with? Have they had to move to Gitega, for example?
Exactly. Yeah, yes. So the seat of government is Gitega. So even like the agency we work with in water quality management is now
Mm.
based in Gitega. So
Ah,
although I'm based in Bujumbura, for to engage with them, I need to go to Gitega.
wow. And it's a
Oh,
fair journey, I imagine, and quite hilly roads, is that right?
yeah, yeah. 2.5 hours and it's mountainous like Rwanda. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Wow. Okay. Oh, thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Manu, I'm not sure if that is that Manu or Manuel? Is that Manuel Magombeye, I think, possibly. Hi, welcome. We still have a poll open. Hi, Manuel.
Okay,
Manuel?
okay, thanks. I'll try to catch up. It's Manuel here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, welcome. We're all just starting off. We're thinking about questions we might have. Today is our final live session. The focus, as you can see, is week 6, unit 4, data into action. But any questions you have from anything we've looked at in the course, please do take the opportunity to ask. So there's a poll running and you can pop any questions in there. Jessica, does the poll just keep running in the background or?
We can turn it off anytime if it's in the
Okay,
way,
well, we can.
but we can keep it
Is
up.
it in the way of the learners? Is it in the way for learners? I don't know.
I'm
Is it,
not
is
sure if
it,
it covers the screen. You guys can let us know. We
let us
can
know
take
if
it
it's
down.
covering the screen and we can take down the poll, but it's there for you to type in any questions. Um, great. Well, to get us started, I'll give you an image. I was doing so I've recently moved house and I've been doing some sorting at home. And I came across this box. Hi, welcome, Euclides. We're going to be looking at data into action today, the final unit of the course. And I've just said that I've been doing some organizing at home. I found this box. What do you see? What do you think this box is? And why do you think I have this box? Any thoughts? What do you think is in this box? Can you see the box or have you got the poll quiz question? No, it's fine. Okay, great.
Hello.
Hi, Euclides, welcome. Martin, hi.
Yes, you
Hello,
see.
Tom. Thank you for welcoming me. About the box,
Yeah,
I just think is like a couple of bills that you've been paying
yeah,
or things
bills.
that you've been yeah, purchasing,
That's right,
and I
purchasing.
think yeah, you put it all together and you will
Uh-huh.
see how are you spending your money to better plan. Yes, that's it.
Spot on, Euclides. Thank you. Spot on. They are bills, receipts, things I spent money on. But yeah, my plan, Euclides, was to keep a track of how I was spending my money. But what's happened? Can anyone guess and work out what's happened in reality? Martin, were you going to jump in and say something?
If that was the plan, then it doesn't look very organized and easy to consume to make a decision from this.
That's right. I think I've got the box here actually. Yeah, I've still got it here. You're right. It's not very well organized. And if I pull these out, for example, we've got what's this? 2023. That's 2023. This one is from where is it? Yeah, also from 20 December 2023. So I've had these receipts for a long time. So what's the problem here? What's happening? I've got all these receipts. You've got loads. You can see them. I can have like a shower. I've got so many. Um, but
So did you get
what's
a
the
chance to analyze them, to organize them, and then be able to then
exactly
review and interpret what it means in terms of your spending?
exactly that, Martin? I haven't got a system for putting this data somewhere where I can look at it and analyze it, have maybe other people like my partner to help me analyze how I'm spending the money. Um, so yeah, that's right. It's just at the moment, it's just all in my hair. Um, Thank you, Martin. Does this resonate with anybody with regards to what we've been looking at in the course on data collection, data analysis? Have you got a box like this in your office or on your computer? or have you had an issue like this in the past where you've collected lots of information from, say, sanitary surveys, from water quality tests? So Bettina, Jessica, Kendra, everybody, this is kind of an open question. Hi, Belis, welcome. Belis in Mozambique, I remember. Welcome. We're looking at data and how we can use data effectively when we're looking at data from sanitary inspections and water quality testing. I just shared that I had this box, which I still have in my room, of all these receipts that I didn't do anything with over the years, just collecting information, but doing nothing with it. Have you, anyone on the call, have you had a similar experience with data from sanitary inspections, from water quality testing? Does this problem resonate with you? Is anybody nodding their heads internally?
Yes, I can come in, Tom.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is not uncommon. I would say it's we found ourselves here. Personally, I have found myself here not once. And I remember one time at some point when I was working in a previous program, we used to have a database for water quality management where our few teams could upload the results of water quality monitoring. But we didn't, so the data just sat there. We didn't use it often to analyze trends and help it, use it to inform our programming in those areas. It was just more or less for compliance. If they ask us, yes, your database, it is here. But then how we're using it to really impact our work was not very strong. And looking back, and after going through this course up to now, I can see when we say that data collection alone cannot really improve water quality management or water safety, it is very real. It's happening.
Thank you for sharing, Martin. Yeah, it sounds like you felt the obligation to collect that information and data. There was a compliance requirement, but
exactly.
Perhaps you hadn't really discussed or thought as a team of, okay, well, what else can we do? What more can we learn from all of that information collecting and how to go about that, perhaps? Would anyone else like to share? Hi, Moses, welcome. We're looking at how do we manage data? So there's an image here on the screen of all these receipts that I've kept over the years, but done nothing with in terms of budgeting. But we're talking about water quality data. Does anybody else have something they would like to share? Jessica, Bettina, or Kendra, is there anything that comes to your mind as we think about?
Yeah, this resonates for me of waiting too long to record your data from a field sheet. And then even when it's your own, I have pretty poor handwriting. And so even when it's my own data and then also consolidating from other people and not knowing if that pH result makes sense and trying to decide weeks or even months later, was it really that low or did someone make an error? And when it's so far, when you've waited so long to record the data, it just makes it so much more difficult to make those distinctions or to figure out those potential errors.
Right. Thank you, Kendra. Yeah. So from your experience, you found that if there's a big gap between, collecting the data, so collecting the data is one thing, and then finding the time to look at it, review it, the longer that time is between collecting it and analyzing it, the harder it is to understand, to maybe even read.
Exactly. I would imagine too, you have some receipts in there where you actually don't remember the purchase or understand the code and what it was for.
Yeah, some of them are faded. Some of them, the cost of things. Well, that's actually some money in here as well. This is all in German. I don't know, so I don't know what that means. Yeah, so you're right. It can be tricky to make sense of data when it's been just kept and hasn't been used for a long time. Bettina, would you like to jump in?
Yeah, it also kind of looks like it's all receipts, not just, not just the ones with the highest amounts or something like that, but just everything in one box without any prioritization or pre-categorization. It's hard to tell from just the picture, but I think also already helps if you kind of have a system where you put the information into categories first, so that when you want to look up something in particular, or when you want to prioritize, you could, for example, start with the highest spendings or the ones that occur every single week, so that you already have thought about a system, what you want to ultimately do with the data, and making your life easier from the beginning.
That's a really helpful insight, Bettina. Yes, so hi, Napoleon, Charles, welcome. We're looking at how do we manage data, and I've given an example of some receipts that I've been keeping for years and have done nothing with. But we're talking about water quality data. Bettina gave us the helpful reflection that, so in my box, you can see on the screen, there's tons of different receipts for different amounts, different things. There's no order to it. And so Bettina was recommending, well, could I categorize my data, my receipts into big spends, regular spends, things I do every week, maybe some special spends. And what about water quality data then, Bettina, or anybody else? How would you start categorizing the data you're getting in from sanitary inspections, from water quality testing? Are there kind of categories that you would think you should have?
We could categorize it by system or by region, for example. Water quality data you could categorize, for example, in terms of microbial parameters, chemical parameters, and other indicator parameters. There's the regular or more regular testings, for example, for turbidity and such things that you analyze more often. And then the irregular, broader testing. So there's all kinds of categorization you can think of, always depending on what you want to do with the data in the end.
So that's right. So we might want to think about the strategy we want to adopt when we start planning a program. So what are our parameters? I think that's one of the things we looked at early on in the course. And then thinking about, okay, what are the most high risk parameters that we have in our system? Is it different from one system to another? Yeah, that's really helpful. Great. Hi, Catherine. Welcome as well. So we're looking at data into action today. So we have got a poll open. So really want to make sure this is our last live session, that you have a chance to ask any burning questions that you have. So the poll is running, but also if you've got questions, please either type them in the chat, raise your hand. This is our last live session. We are going to be looking at data into action in a bit more detail today, but happy to answer any questions. I see a question in the chat from Manuel. Does someone I heard someone just go on to speak.
I just wanted to make sure we saw that question.
Thank you very much. Perfect, Jessica. So, Jessica, can you read it out for us, please?
Yeah, Manuel's wondering if there's a template for each water quality parameter with corrective actions depending on the value.
Great question. Great question, Manuel. Kendra, Bettina, Jessica, I'm just thinking in our materials that we've got in the course, is there anything already in the materials, or is it somewhere we have to look elsewhere?
To my knowledge, we don't have a template in the course materials right now. Kendra, you can correct me if that's wrong. But the values that you put, the limits that you put might be dependent on your national regulations as well. So we definitely would recommend when you come up with your standard form that you want to use for water quality testing, making sure that those limits are in there. And then, yes, putting corrective actions could be very helpful for your teams to know exactly what you would need to do in certain situations. The guidelines does go over like a brief little bit of information. It's a good place to start for each of their priority parameters. So it'd be a good place to maybe start with what to make those actions.
Yeah, I'd also say there's the fact sheets and the WHO guidelines for each parameter. And then there's also guidance on different treatment technologies. So, I mean, in the first place, you would always try to avoid or to eliminate the course where that contamination is coming from, but you can't always do that. And if that's not possible, I'd look into the treatment options and seeing if the treatment is applicable for the concentration you're encountering in the system.
Great, thank you. Welcome, Woody. I see you joining the call. Great to have you with us. We're kind of open questions now, and you can see you might not see in the chat you've just joined, but Manuel has been asking, is there a template for different water quality parameters, and how do we respond when we see those levels kind of go above what the target level should be? And I think you're right, Martina. So there's one aspect of, well, we can look at, results from sanitary inspections. Is it something that we can prevent or change from doing something around the water point, or the point in the system? Or is it something that, we can't change or can't change immediately, and we need to look at treatment as part of our system? Or perhaps for the end users, if we don't have the opportunity to provide centralized treatment. So I think, yeah, those WHO guidelines on their website and treatment fact sheets as well, I think you said, sounds like a good place to start. So great. So really, this is our last live session. So any questions you have on anything in the course, please do raise your hand or pop them in the chat, and we will make sure we respond to them. But to kind of help us, can we do this next poll, actually? Let me see. Can we do this next poll? No, actually, we'll go to the scenario, Jessica, I think. So you've had some great opportunity to work through some case studies on this course. And just to kind of wrap up some of our learning and help us tie it together, we've developed a little case study. It's a little bit of a work in progress, so we're going to have a go with it. Oh, hang on a second. I need to make sure I've got the right one open. No. Let me close this, and I should be able to. Hang on a sec. Get this other one open if I can. Let's have a look. Moving things around. So we've got this little scenario. Oh, hang on a sec. Wrong display. Here we go. Right. So this is a fictional place called Ambaninofi Potika. It's a water supply system, and we need your help because there are concerns that there's been some contamination. There is concerns that some people who are consuming this water are getting sick. But thankfully, we've got you guys. You've done a course which can really help us work out what the issues are. So I'm just going to talk you through what the system is, and then I'm going to talk you through the information that is available to us. But then I'll ask you as a group to work out, okay, what's happening, and you'll find out. You'll be able to get some more information. So this is the system. Just very simply, we've got a spring box up in the hills, brings water down to a reservoir. There's chlorination at the inlet to the reservoir, so we do have chlorination in this system. We've got a pipe distribution. We have 2 tap stands, 1 and 2. The furthest tap stand is the end of the network. So Springbok, not Springboks. That's something in South Africa. Down to a reservoir, chlorination, a pipe distribution network, 2 tap stands. The second tap stand is the one furthest along the network. So we have done some, we've done some work at the system. There's been sanitary inspections for each of these sites, and we have those results. There's also been some water quality testing at each of those sites, and we have those results. So your job is, you're the committee effectively, and you start off, you've got $5,000. Oh yes, was that my hand that went up? I think it was. You've got $5,000. And each time you ask for a bit more information, so each time we see a new slide appear, that's going to cost you $100. So you start off with 5,000 as a group, so you need to work together as a team. Every time the slide changes, $100 from your budget goes down. So the objective is to find out what's wrong and then take some action and see how much money you're left with. So there are other things you can do as you go through the exercise. You can ask for more information. You might be able to speak to the person who did the water quality testing, for example. But ultimately, you want to take some action. And it's this warning hazard symbol, which is your take action symbol. So that's the system. I've got some information for you that's free, that's not going to cost you anything, and that is what's been happening with the weather. Why is it important to think about the weather when we're looking at water quality? Can anyone, why is the weather important? Think about our system I've just shown us with a spring capture. Why is the weather important? This is the rainfall from the 1st of, oh, let's call it May, even though today's not a Wednesday. The last 2 weeks. We've got the rainfall data for the last 2 weeks. So it's just there for you to have a look at, to keep in mind. That's free information. Now, the system. I'm looking for a volunteer to start us off, and you can choose what results you'd like to see, whether you'd like to see sanitary inspection results or water quality testing results from any one of these parts of the system to try and work out what's going on. Would anyone like to volunteer? Have a think. Or perhaps, Martin, thank you very much. Yes, Martin. So, Martin, what would you like to look at? What would you like to know? You can choose from one of the, what infrastructure would you like to look at? The spring, tap stand?
Sanitary inspection result for the Springboks.
Perfect. So I'm going to show us the results. So, Jessica, can you keep a track of the budget, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Great. So here you go, Martin, and everybody. Thank you, Martin, for starting us off. These are the results from the sanitary inspection of the spring. Note, these are the only risk factors that have been identified as risks. So we've got number 3 and number 8. Number 3 here is the backfill area behind the protective structure is eroded. So this Bettina, can you just talk, is it this bit here, do you think, that's eroded then from that description?
It's very small on my screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. The backfill area here eroded.
Yes, I think
Okay.
it is.
So we've got some erosion here. Okay, that's an issue. And is there sanitation infrastructure? What? Oh, right. So there could be a septic tank, sewers, a latrine somewhere within a 15-meter area. Right. Martin, still with you. So that's the first bit of information you've got. Now you can ask for more information. You can either go to water quality testing results for the spring, or you can ask for like this symbol here where you can ask for more information, or you can take action, or you can look at something else in the system. So Martin, have a think about what you want to do next.
Yeah, given these two risk factors that we've seen, I'd like to see the results for water quality analysis.
Perfect. And remember, we're doing this as a team. So everyone else on the call, if you've got an idea, hang on, I'm trying to get my pointer back. Pointer options, arrow options, automatic. Great. Right, water quality test results. So, Martin, you've got another choice. Is Martin, yes. What would you like to find the results for? You've got a turbidity meter, a pH meter, or the portable microbiological testing kit, which tests for E. coli. Which would you like to test for?
Turbidity and pH.
Okay, so remember, this is $100 each for each test. You realize? No, it's fine. It's fine. Turbidity. So, turbidity. What can we see? And feel free to type in the chat. What do you notice? What are you observing? Is there anything you're concerned with? Martin is in the driving seat, but we're all on the bus. So what are we seeing here? What can you see? And thank you, Catherine, for mentioning in Charleston where you live, low elevation, when you've got lots of rain, run off into streams, and you get high bacteria, high E. coli. So we started off this little scenario by showing that there'd been quite a bit of rain at the end of that first week. So keep in mind there's been quite a bit of rain. Ah, yes, and Manuel saying if it rains, we might see erosion around the spring. And I think that's what we've just seen. So we've seen from the sanitary inspection erosion around the spring. Thank you, Manuel. We've got the chance to do some water quality testing. We've selected pH and turbidity. This is the turbidity results. So what are we seeing here? The standard, is it less than 1 NTU or 1 NTU? And why have we got 1 NTU as our standard? What can anyone tell me? Maybe Bettina or Jessica, why 1 NTU? Why have we set that as our standard? Or have I got that wrong? Hi Antoinette, welcome.
So the standard is below 1 NTU. Not the standard, but the guideline from WHO. But up
Thank you,
to
Martin.
maximum of 5. Because beyond that, then it interferes with the quality of disinfection from chlorine. Yeah.
Thank you. Great. So this system, so if you're just joining us, we're looking at a water supply system that uses a spring source. There is chlorination. Martin's asked to see the water quality results, the turbidity. Here we are. We can see our standard we're looking for is less than 1, which is what we need for effective chlorination, if I understand correctly. It's the guidance. And we're seeing the result here going above 1 from the 8th to the 11th. From the 8th to the 11th. Let's just have a little sneaky peek at that. This is a freebie, by the way, going back to the water quality, the rainfall. That's a freebie. What did I say? The 8th to the 11th. So do you see any? These are just little bits of information for you to think about. Feel free to raise your hand if you've got another question. Martin's still in the driving seat. So we've got our turbidity results. We've also got pH results, Martin. What do you think to these? So we've got the same time period. It's that same week. It's that second week. pH, we have a target range of 6.5 to 8.5. What do you notice from these results? So everyone on the call can jump in. Martin started off doing a great job, but if you'd like to jump in, please unmute or type in the chat. What do you make of these results on pH? Do they look okay? Do they look worrying? What do we think? Yes, Woody.
Yeah, the rainfall has affected the pH after the rainfall.
Right, so we've got pH is changed here, hasn't it? From the 11th, Sunday the 11th. It's dropped the pH, hasn't it? And then, so Sunday the 11th, let's have a bit of rainfall. Sunday the 11th, it stopped raining. So we've had lots of rainfall up until the 11th. Okay, so good spot, Woody, thank you. And we're seeing a change in pH. Okay, very good. Martin, are you happy to stay in the driving seat, or would someone else like to take over?
Yeah, I'm happy to pass it to someone, but I'm just surprised by the change in pH. I was okay with the turbidity.
Okay. So go back to the pH. Yeah, so this is surprising. It's dropped by half, and it seems strange. Catherine is asking, can you show turbidity on the 11th again? Or will that cost us? I'm afraid it's going to cost you, but I can. The only freebie you have is Catherine, this is sorry to no, it's fine. No, it's a good decision, Catherine. We've got the resources. It's good to check these things. So turbidity. Well, I'll let Jessica decide whether.
Well, okay, but they've already paid for their turbidity results.
They've already paid for it. That's fine.
Yeah.
So no,
Can they go back and see them again?
Thank you, Jessica. Sorry if I made it sound like I was being mean, Catherine. Well done. So yes, your question was on the 11th. So on the 11th, what are we noticing on the 11th? So on the 11th, so it looks like there's another source of contamination, this is Manuel writing in the chat, that is making the pH to be low. The rains seem to have made the pH acceptable. Okay. So Manuel doesn't think there's a link between the rain and the pH. Catherine's wondering whether there's a link between the turbidity and the rain, because we've got, is that what you're saying, Catherine? Do you want to unmute and speak and share what you're thinking?
Yes, so admittedly, I do not know nearly as much as my classmates. I'm just jumping in, but I know that turbidity can affect pH.
Mm,
Um, and also, as Martin said, it can also affect the efficacy of the chlorine.
mm.
So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to defer to one of my teammates for next
Thank
steps.
you. Bettina or Jessica, can you tell us what relationships are there between pH, turbidity, chlorine? Is there something you can share with us that will help us understand how these parameters influence each other?
Well, certainly turbidity does decrease the efficiency of chlorination. There's a clear relation there. And because that would be my first assumption, rainwater can be slightly acidic. That might affect the pH after the rainfalls, meaning also that it seems like the rainwater is going quite directly into my source. So there's not a lot of time it has to pass through the soil, for example, to be filtrated, etc. But happy for Jessica to jump in and
Mm.
compliment.
Thank you, Bettina. So we're wondering whether rainfall could be influencing the pH level. I see Napoleon put a comment in the chat. Jessica, did you want to jump in?
No, we can go to Napoleon's comment at the
Yeah,
end.
so Napoleon, you're saying rainwater is naturally acidic, and seeing that the pH improved once the rainfall has dropped suggests that it's something else that's causing the issue with the pH. Let's have a look. So we've got Sunday the 11th, the pH drops, and rainfall data from the 11th, it's dropped as well. So it's dropped off. So that's maybe suggesting there isn't it's not because of the rainfall, this drop in pH, possibly. Bettina or Jessica or um, Kendra, I can see you on the call as well. What about the pH range that we're working with here? Um, why is that important to have that range? What impact does that have on it? Or anybody else who'd like to share why are we looking to meet this target between 6.5, 8.5? Why is that important to us? Anyone's got an insight onto that?
Sorry, I'm not seeing the hand as well today. It's Manuel.
Hi, Emmanuel.
Yes, I think the pH is important because it might decide whether the water is soft or hard or something or acceptable. Yeah, so I think that's the importance of pH.
Great.
And yes, and I think
Yeah.
also in other, it can also affect subsequent treatment processes. If the pH is very low, or sometimes when we have metal contamination, it might actually increase the bioavailability of these metals when someone drinks the water. So I think that's how pH can affect the quality of water. Thanks.
Thank you, Manuel. That's really helpful to appreciate. So the pH level could affect how effective our treatment is if we're working to treat a particular chemical or substance. Antoinette, I can see your hand is raised as well. Please jump in.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
I just want to add something to how the rainfall is affecting the pH. So natural rain has a pH around 5.6 thereabouts. Even in clean environments, we know that rainwater is naturally slightly acidic because it absorbs carbon dioxide from the air, forming weak carbonic acid. So I think that is what is affecting the pH with regards to the rainfall. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really helpful to appreciate. So maybe there's been an increase in the level of acidity of the rain. I think we hear sometimes about acid rain. Maybe that's been influencing the pH quite possibly. We've got a pH reading here of 3.71 for many days. So it looks like it's sort of stabilized at this level. What impact will that have for our system? So our system, as you remember, we use chlorine. Do we need to take any action? Are people still going to be safe? Yes, Martin.
Yeah, so looking at these two results, but also keeping in mind the two risk factors that we identified, especially the latrine that is below 50 meters, but also the eroded backfill. There is need to check whether there's potential contamination to our network, and so we need to do an E. coli test.
Right.
We have a kit for that, and now
have
given
a kit
that
for it.
pH. Yes, and given that although we have been told that there's chlorination at the inlet of the tank, with this pH, then that can also be interfered with. So I would suggest we take we do E. coli at the spring, first see there's a contamination, and then we can go and do again at the tank to see if the treatment is effective or it is affected by the pH levels.
Great, thank you, Martin. So just to clarify, you want us to look at the E. coli results for the spring box first, is that correct?
Yes.
And then look at the results from the reservoir, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so is everybody happy? This is going to be our next $100, I think. We're all happy? Jump in the chat, jump up and say, Catherine's happy, great, we're going for it. So water quality testing results still at the spring. Here is our E. coli results. Let's have a look at those. What can that tell us about what's happening? So we've got the same week, the standard of 0. We've got high figures here, but then it does drop down. Whereas we had pH changing. So there's definitely something happening here, isn't it, on the 11th? Antoinette, your hand is raised. Is that from before, or would you like to jump in now? If it's from before, don't worry.
Maybe I can just make a remark as we
Yeah,
get
please
someone.
do. Go for it.
So we see again there's a detection of E. coli on the days that were rainy, and this could suggest that there's a potential contamination coming through the eroded backfill.
Right, yeah.
Because it is happening on the days that are rainy, so maybe surface water is going in there. If it was more of the latrine, it will still continue even beyond the rain season.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's really. Can someone just clarify in what Manuel said? It's a helpful point there, and I can see. So Martin, sorry, was that Martin or Manuel? Martin just spoke, but I can see Manuel also typed in the chat and Catherine as well. So what I hear is what you're saying, Martin, is we're seeing a correlation. We've got high rainfall at the same time as E. coli being high at the spring, so standards not being met. And you noticed at the from the sanitary inspections that there's a backfill area that's eroded. So you think there could be high turbidity, rainfall, E. coli getting in through the eroded backfill area. Is that what we think?
Yes, that is a pathway.
Great. So that's a pathway we've identified. They're looking at the sanitary inspection results and the water quality testing results, because you're suggesting, well, if it was because of this sanitation infrastructure, toilet or sewer, you'd expect to see E. coli contamination like right through, but it stops after the rain stops, which goes back to Catherine's earlier point.
Unless it's being killed by the low pH, I don't know.
Or unless it's because of the low pH. Oh no, we're not sure. There's still uncertainty. Catherine, you said that you thought E. coli would be pushed down the system, so it's high at the Springboks. So you're asking, Catherine's asking, what's happening elsewhere in the system? And Manuel, you're suggesting that there could be something of the geology, something in the ground or from the runoff from the surface, which is causing the low pH. So we've got a sense that there's something happening with the rain, the E. coli has gone up, but we're wondering about what's happening for the rest of the system as well. So we've got a couple of options. Welcome 915. Sorry, we don't see your name, but I can see your number. Welcome to the call. We're looking at this water supply system. We've just looked at the Springboks. We've looked at some sanitary inspection results, some water quality testing results, things we can do. We can take action. We can do something right away and say, yep, we need to take action now. It's important. Let's do something. We could see if we can get some more information for the Springboks, or we can look at some of the other parts of the system. What would you like to do next? You can type in the chat, raise your hand and mute. Martin's doing a great job so far at taking the steering wheel, but anyone can jump in. Where do we want to go next? Would someone else like to have a go at taking the steering wheel, deciding where we go next? Shall we ask some more questions about the Springboks? Shall we take action, or shall we look at somewhere else in the system? Belize is suggesting we look at tap stand 1. Great, so I'll click on that. We're happy we got another thumbs up there, which is great. Belize, what would you like to know about tap stand 1? I heard someone come on their microphone. Go ahead. If you want to jump in and you've unmuted yourself, please do go ahead. We're going to look at tap stand 1. Belize, or anyone else, what would you like to look at for tap stand 1? Sanitary inspection or water quality testing results? Suleiman. Hi, Suleiman, welcome. We're going to look at tap stand 1. Yeah.
Maybe before tap stand 1, in terms of taking action, since from the initial field inspections, we've detected 2 risk factors, and from the SI, we got 2 risk factors, and from the field testing, we got turbidity is high, and so it is possible at this point to make a recommendation for the community to, as you leave the site, to work on the backfill area to reduce the turbidity. We do not know. So I think since it takes a while, I think I should have said we should take a sample first to the lab for the E. coli. Will give us the result already. But I think already as part of the action points that we could have done is to just inform the committee that they need to plan to work on that the backfill because it's causing high turbidity from your results, and then you take a sample to the lab to go and do the E. coli for the spring, which you've done already.
Great.
And yes.
So there's a couple of things here. What would you do? 1 or 2? We're talking about the backfill. Maybe you can type in the chat. Do we immediately do the backfill? Or do we recommend the local community, those who are managing the system, do the backfill once the surface water has drained away? Or do we do both?
So I would recommend the community to work on it. It depends on the amount of work required. I think it is better than, maybe to inform them to work on it, and then I do a follow-up to ensure it was done.
Great. So that's important to have that follow-up. It sounds like, Martin, you're suggesting we delegate that to the local community or who's in charge of the system management, but also we collect those E. coli samples, which we have done. So we've got that. Well done. But thank you for raising that. As in practice, we would do that on the day and send off a sample, which is great. But I can hear welcome Linda as well to the call. I can hear bells are being rung by other people in the team. Belize asking about water quality for tap stand 1. Catherine as well. So we're going to jump to tap stand 1. If I can get my pointer back. But how long do we have, Jessica? And how much money do we have left?
Well, if it's $100 per task, we've spent 400.
Okay, so that's not bad. And we
No,
started off
not
with
bad.
$5,000, but we haven't. So we've done something with just $400, which I think is great. That's pretty good. But we're going to find out a bit more about what's happening in the other parts of the system. So, we're going to jump to water quality results. Tap stand one. Ah, what's this? Chlorine, by the looks of it. Okay, so this is, have I got this right, Bettina and Jessica? Free chlorine residual milligrams per liter. That's right. Great. Thank you, Woody, Linda. Yes. So these are the results. Tap stand one. We've got two tap stands, tap stand one and two. What do we think of these results? Is there anything on here that concerns us that would lead us to take action? So we've got reports of there being high E. coli in the spring. I think I can go back to this. So this is tap stand one, and this isn't going to cost us. I think we've already got this money, which is great. Oh, where is it? I'm going to go back to the spring very quickly. So,
And Tom, just to clarify,
yes, thank you.
there is chlorination in this system, right? So the spring box is before we've chlorinated, and then this is the results
correct.
after we've treated the water
That's right.
at the first tap
So
stand. Okay.
we have this little chlorination unit at the inlet to the reservoir. So we've noticed that, thank you for clarifying. So we've noticed at the spring box that we have high E. coli, and we're wondering whether that's causing there to be E. coli later on in the system. For the tap stand, we have, let me see. Oh, I've lost my tap stand. We've got free residual chlorine. So any comments, observations, concerns from these results from tap stand one? Belize, I think you were the first to ask about this.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what happened Saturday. Can you see the rainfall?
Yes, the rainfall is free. No
Yes.
charge. So I'm going to get the rainfall, but here it is. Here's the rainfall. Now I'm gonna do something a little bit. Would you like to see them both together? Rainfall and chlorine residual.
It will be good.
It's going to cost you $100.
Okay, that's fine.
You fine with that? Okay, $100. Here you go, Billy's. So it's a bit small. I apologize, but we do have the this. I'll get my little marker up here so we can see what we're looking at. Where is it? So this is the timeline, and they are aligned. So those dates are the same for both. We've got rainfall, which is happening somewhere above the spring source, and then we've got a reservoir, a pipeline, one tap stand, and then a final second tap stand. At this first tap stand, this is the free chlorine residual over that time period. So it stopped raining. Have a look. So we've got a range here on the left, so 0.6 to 0. That's milligrams per liter. Belize, would you also like to see the target range we want to meet for residual chlorine shown on this graphic?
Please do so.
$100?
That one is costing to the team.
Okay. Buy one, get one free. This is going to be a freebie.
Thank you very much.
Freebie. Okay, so have a look at that and then tell me whether you're concerned, and if so, why.
We also have a comment in the chat from Catherine saying the day before event, the chlorine was not as effective. So maybe the high turbidity due to heavy rain caused that problem and made the chlorine less effective.
Okay, right. So we're starting to link these bits of information together. So this is the residual chlorine at tap stand one after the rain, and we see that dip. I think it's on the 10th day. And Catherine's highlighting that there is also turbidity. Where is it? Okay. Yes, sorry, jump in, Bettina.
Yeah, we've got a response to the comment already from
Oh,
Kendra,
fantastic.
who says you're on the right track. I wouldn't say the chlorine wasn't as effective, but rather the free chlorine residual has been used up, likely by the increased turbidity, microbes in the water, potentially caused by the increased rainfall. So we're connecting the bits and pieces that are happening in the system.
We are. Thank you. So
Yeah,
that's
I
really,
think
yes,
other
Ellie,
other
jump in.
adoption will be okay. Perhaps it is related to the operator or the team that is involved on water treatment system. Because the system is there, but seems that okay, sometimes we use it to have this kind of problem. Is that there's no chlorine or these chemicals or outdated and things like this. So perhaps it can also affect the quality that we have in our tap stands. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. So you're thinking about well, how do we respond to this information? And you're thinking about who is responsible for making sure the chlorination system is working as it should. And so, yeah, you're thinking about, well, maybe the response is that we work with those who are doing the chlorination to keep that blue line we see, the free residual, within that target range. To make sure we have enough chlorination, free residual chlorine, to keep the water safe. I think we're coming to the end of our hour. How are we feeling? Do we feel like we've got it all worked out? We think people are going to be safe. Just need a bit more work on our chlorination. Thumbs up. Great. Well, thank you for having a little play with that. So we were looking at data today, and we hope this exercise. I've fixed the Springboks. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, not to forget the Springboks. Thank you. I had slightly forgotten that, so thank you. We're going to do. I think Martin, you said we need to make sure we come back and check that it's been repaired correctly. So before we finish, we just want to kind of wrap up for this session. So this resource here, we will try and make available. I think we're going to see if we can make it available to you as a course piece. But if I get this right with my screen sharing, switch the views.
Tom, while you pull that up,
yeah.
we did have one question in
super.
the poll box from earlier.
Oh, great. Perfect.
So they're asking for data use. How do we use information like drawdowns and temperature from the borehole monitoring together with other parameters for decision making? And this is coming from Mozambique, where they're shifting from hand pumps to mechanized pumps.
Okay,
So how do we use basically borehole data together with our other water quality testing for our decisions?
Are those decisions about whether we should be moving to using mechanical pumping, or is it decisions about whether the water is safe to use or whether we're going to need to do treatment for it? I wonder.
That's a good clarification. So if you ask the question you're still on, feel free to clarify. I'm guessing that moving from hand pumps to mechanized will give them just more data as they're, doing pump tests and able to take. It's Euclides. So whether it's safe
is it safe
use.
to use? Yeah. I mean, so when we're making that move to mechanized, say, pumps, is there an opportunity to more easily collect data for water quality, would you say, or is it likely to be just as easy with a hand pump? Are there advantages as well that we can use and gain from moving to mechanized systems with regards to water quality sampling and testing? It's kind of an open question for us. I'm also thinking.
I'd say that when we're doing mechanized boreholes, or potentially drilling deeper boreholes, we typically get more data because we are looking at maybe like drawdowns and looking more closely at what our flow rates can be and things like that. So maybe we have more data adding into the mix. We also typically with mechanized systems have more options for water treatment. Water treatment on a hand pump can be fairly limited as far as what you can do within the system. So maybe that opens up our options as well for water treatment.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Manuel. I think Manuel's had to head off, so thank you. If you have to head off to another call, please feel free. But yes, it is. So with regards to water quality, I think like Jessica is saying, might be that we can more easily collect more data more readily because we've got now a pipe system that we're working with rather than a hand pump. And that also might make it easier to run our system through treatment units. I think we do have some great courses on, I think under the solar pumping courses we have on how to, questions you to ask about shifting from hand pumps to mechanized systems, which might address your other question on sustainability, if it is. And Moses from Uganda is asking also, what software can we use to analyze data besides Excel? I think, Belize wants us to ask the question again. So we were just discussing, thank you, Belize, we were just discussing the opportunities that we have when we're going from a hand pump system in a borehole to a mechanized system, and we're explaining that moving to a mechanized system, we've got a piped options, we might be able to collect data on water quality more easily and also use treatment more easily or use other forms of treatment for a centralized system. The other point to Claudia's question, I believe, was about the sustainability. So what information should we be collecting when we want to check the sustainability of a borehole with a mechanized system? There are pumping tests, and it's not part of this course, but there are other courses about that. Yes, Catherine's put that in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. You've clarifying that response too. Just before we finish, because we're due to have an hour, you might have another call to go to. Is it the last week, Jessica? Is this the last week? Is it finished?
It is the last official week.
Ah.
But we're going to offer a bonus week.
Whoa, what's the bonus week?
Bonus week is extra time to make sure that you have the opportunity to do all your requirements and get your certificate. So I know some of you on the call may have already gotten your certificate. Some of you might need a little extra time, but we believe that all of you can do it. So you'll have an extra week. Make sure that you do all of your quizzes, all of your discussion assignments. Those have to be completed for every unit. The learning modules are yours to take what you need. So you don't have to complete those 100%, but you can review what's relevant. After the 24th, you still get access to your learning modules, so you can always go back and review the material, but you won't have access to the quizzes or the discussions to be able to get your certificate.
Thank you, Jessica. Good, an extra week. We're really enjoying all of the posts you're sharing, so do keep those coming in. We love hearing about your own experiences, and we see lots of connections between what everyone's saying and different people are saying. So you will be able to access the discussion boards, but you won't be able to post anything new. Thank you, Catherine. So really great to have a record of what you've been discussing, and you can access that. So if you see something that you see someone else post and you think, I've had a similar issue, I want to talk to them, connect with them in the forum before the end of the course, and see what you can learn from each other. Before we finish, any other outstanding questions that you'd like to ask about anything from today or anything from the course? We still have a bit of time.
Moses did ask in the chat. I'm not sure if we fully answered about any softwares that we can use to analyze data besides Excel. So if anybody has recommendations, I know MWater is a potential. So if you want to use MWater to collect your data, they also have a portal where you can view that data. But some of it might depend on what your organization chooses to use.
Does anybody else have experience with M water or something similar?
Tom, I missed the point from Jessica, but I heard you talk about M-water, and we're using
Yes,
M-water,
please,
yes.
please do, Martin.
I did get the question, but yes, we're using M-water, but not for, I saw the survey there for SI, but we not yet began using it.
Yes, the question from Moses is about different softwares that we could use to analyze the data. So Martin, I don't know if your experience with M-Water has been good. Does it make it easier to view and analyze your data?
Okay, clear. The question is clear now. We do use M-water, but we've in my office we've not begun using M-water for SIs. I have seen the survey on M-water. I think some of our offices are already using this. I'm not sure that Billy's has experience from South Africa, but for a particular office, we've not begun using it, but we're moving to that space now.
Great. Super. If you have other experiences with M-water, feel free to share that in the forum discussion. I think there's quite a few people who have experience or want to have a go with it. So please do make the most of the forum for that. Will it help? Will M-water help me with my problem with my receipts? Yes, no?
Exactly.
It will. Oh, good, good. But I think, yeah, so I've got a bit more time. If you need to go off to another call, that's fine. But any other questions? I'm very
I'm going
happy
to do a quick comment. We did have a question
Oh,
about a
super.
quiz
Yes,
with the red X. So
Yeah, I
just
picked up on that. So that's
yeah,
Suleiman. So he's in my group,
yeah.
group 1. So
So
I made a note of that. Thank you.
for anyone who sees a red X
Mm.
next to an activity or a quiz, that typically will mean that you didn't get the minimum
I
80%.
see.
And you
Right.
might have to try the quiz again to get your minimum score of 80%. Now, if for some reason you feel you've gotten the 80%, but it's not showing, you can reach out to us and we can look into that for you. But that's what the red X's mean, that you just didn't quite hit that minimum score that you need. And you can just try again. You can take these quizzes as many times as you need. And then just a quick note as well that there is a course completion checklist in the course as well, and that's where you can track your progress on everything. So if you haven't gotten your certificate yet and you're wondering what's left to be done, you can go view your course completion checklist.
Right. Can you show us how to get to that? If I stop sharing. That'd be
Might have
helpful.
to, let's see.
Yes, so it looks like you might just have to go back and redo the quiz. I find I often learn a lot of when I've got something not quite right or misunderstood something, I do it again. I find that really helpful for my learning, so that's good. But yes, glad to hear we've got that extra week. So we'll be using that time to follow up on the forum discussions. Whilst Jessica's getting up the certificate checklist, is there any other questions? Any final questions before we go? I hope we've answered everything in the chat so far. But if we haven't, do let us know.
And you can find that checklist near the top, kind of right before Unit 1 starts. You'll be able to click on Course Completion
Fantastic.
Checklist. And then it'll look a little different for you. You'll see the check
Mm.
boxes that go down for everything that you have checked off in the course. And so these are the requirements that have to be done.
Great. That's really helpful. Thank you, Jessica. And that'll show us a percentage, won't it, from a learner perspective
Yes.
of
Yeah.
how close we are to 100. And but yes, if you think there's something that's not quite worked or right, do let us know. But checking that is a good place to start. Great. Well, we'll leave the space of final questions, comments, if there are any. Yeah, it's been excellent. Thank you for everyone's contributions. We recognize and appreciate the amount of work that you've been putting in to progressing through this course. Well done. And yeah, we've learned so much as well. So thank you for all your sharing. And we hope to see you again somewhere else in the world of WASH or on other courses. But this is the final live session. And thank you, Bettina, especially. You've been joining us to share your expert advice. We didn't get a chance to do the quiz today, but thank you so much for your insights.
Well, thank you so much. And I've looked it up. It's Ascension Day. Is that correct? Yeah.
To ascend, to go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you celebrate it by like do you walk up to the top of things, or do you climb stairs, or is
Well, to be honest, it's always the same day as Father's Day.
okay.
So the
Oh,
celebrations
Father's
are
Day. Oh yes, of course. You said it was Father's Day.
not with a strict religious focus or anything.
Super. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Euclides. And we'll see you again at some point, we hope. So we wish you all the best for the end of the course. Don't hesitate to reach out to any of us on the platform, and yeah, go well.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye. Yes.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Charles. Bro, thank you. Great. Okay. Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Bettina. Thanks, Brian. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.